Hello, Rion.
Welcome.
So, do you want to bring anything through before we start with the questions?
We are excited for your questions.
Okay. So, will the system of money be gone on Earth soon?
We cannot talk about a time frame, and the word soon could be a million years.
Thanks for that.
Or 1 week.
It seems like.
But what we will
It's
talk about.
Let me clarify. It seems like in a higher dimension that money is a lower density form of control and a lower density system that other beings don't need and we won't need soon. So.
Yes, that's what we're going to lead into. That it is an archaic control system. Of course, created for a purpose of manipulation and power over, and as you know, in and of itself, it actually has no value. It is not valuable to communities, and it is divisive and destructive as a tool in the way that it's been used. And yes, of course, it could be used positively, but with such a positive energy, with such a positive frequency in the collective consciousness, there would not be any need for a monetary system. Because if we are looking at it in the most positive sense of all, there is no money, there is no need to undervalue or overvalue commodities that are completely unnecessary, a bit like non-choices, for instance. There are so many things produced because of the monetary system that really are totally unnecessary.
And it took us away from
and
community.
Not very beneficial to any society.
It took us away from community, didn't it?
It split the community, it split the individual from everyone around them. It created a division of a false status that really is delusional. As you know, no one is any better than anyone else because they gathered up loads of numbers, so to speak. But within that system, because it was adhered to, worshipped, a bit like idolatry, it took the energy of creation, it took the energy of skills, of knowledge, and has been tantamount to have wiped out some of these things that communities thrived on before the monetary system. And when we are saying that money is the divisive thing, we are saying it is a tool being used to divide. We're not saying in and of itself a piece of paper holds any power or value, but the beliefs created around the piece of paper have certainly infiltrated many, if not all, aspects of community and society, and the thriving of a system. It is created or been used to create poverty, it's been used to create starvation, it has been used to create all the negativity you could possibly think of. Whereas if money disappeared tomorrow, very, very swiftly, people would go back to their skill sets, to their knowledge, to their communities, and smaller communities. These are the way that communities thrive the best.
You said that it was the end of suffering and the end of like oppression of our free will. It seems like money's used as that and as a tool of war as well.
It has been a tool of all of those things, because without the false monetary system supposedly holding up society, it has literally knocked it down. And from that density, from that knocking down, from that division, it makes it far easier to create wars, to get people to be enemies, and a tool to be used that can be so imbalanced, it can be so unequal, it can give some people said power just because of an amount of numbers. And we see that this is the overt energy showing the agenda in its most bizarre manner. When we look at the societies that use this money, this value, this falsity, and we see that the value it has been given and the way that it has altered the mindset of communities, of individuals, we can clearly see how manipulated and how this agenda has swept over and taken over what we would have known as a form of common sense, a form of community, a form of no harming another person. But when people are driven into slavery by credit and debt, so to speak, there is very little time left for them to be a natural, thriving, creative individual working towards the betterment of their community. So it is an entanglement. And if tomorrow it could be dissolved and people would be able to stop believing in it, it would not take very, very long for thriving communities to exist again.
Sounds wonderful.
Yes, this is the trajectory. This is the way that we see humankind moving towards, because they have experienced the polarities of extreme wealth and extreme poverty.
So we will need a new money system that's higher vibrating for a short time before we can move into a no money system.
There will be a transition of what we would call more feasible value, more tactile value put onto.
More fair?
Pardon?
More fair and just?
As fair and just as the people themselves will allow, when they drop the value, the false value of the money, they will internalize instead of externalizing value. They will then return to their sense of well-being, their sense of worth, and their sense of value. And the monetary system will no longer be so important, because you will not build false commerce, false community, false economies, so to speak. These are all part of the game, the agenda. They do not ever hold up the world. They just divide it.
Right. Okay, thank you.